Hi everyone, it's officially turned autumn here in the UK. It's raining today, which means it's gone cold, so I've swiped my husband's jumper because that's what husband's jumpers are for. But I can't put the heating on yet because we're still in August, so I'm flatly refusing to put the heating on. Oh well, the joys of UK weather, eh? Today I'm going to do my extremely overambitious September TBR video. Yeah, you're going to laugh at this one, aren't you? Right, so I'm going to start up with library books. Library books I can keep out for 3 weeks or 4 weeks if they come from the mobile library. And I'm collecting a little pile here that need to be read and returned. Yes, I can renew a library book 10 times, so technically that's 30 weeks I can keep a book out for. But it's not ideal, and if somebody recalls that book, I've got to hand it in ASAP. So I'm kind of always aware that any book I do have out is on a clock. So here are my library books. And so some of these you've already seen, but I've got Wonder Woman Chronicles Volume 3, which is proper classic Wonder Woman. Sword of Light by Catherine Roberts. This is book 1 in the Pendragon legacy. This is a young reader retelling of Arthurian legends with a female lead called Rihanna. Then there's Stitching Snow. This is by R.C. Lewis. This apparently is a sci-fi retelling of Snow White. And then from my mobile library, I've got Death of a Nurse by M.C. Beaton, another one, the Hamish Macbeth series. And by Anne Perry, I've got Treachery at Lancaster Gate. This apparently is a Victorian crime thriller series. They had 2 of the books on the shelf, so I've picked this one up for now. I'll see how I get on with that. So that's 5 books so far. Yeah. Right, now I've got books that are on the go and I need to be finishing them. So first up is the bedtime book. This is Skullduggery Pleasant Playing with Fire, book 2. As you can see, we're a good chunk of the way through already. Page 185, so that should get finished probably in a couple of weeks' time. I've just started No Time Like the Past. This is book 4 in the St Mary's Chronicles, written by Jodie Taylor. These I whipped through like nobody's business, so I've got this one to read. And then there's Queen of Shadows. This is by Sarah J. Maas. It's book 4 I think in the Throne of Glass series. I've been reading this on and off for I think a couple of months now. I sort of read a chapter and a bit at a time while waiting for the boys to clean their teeth and get into bed, you know, because boys like to muck about. So I've been reading this little bit by bit. I'm now officially over the halfway point, so it should be all downhill from here in the good possible term of that phrase. Then I've got the 2 Fairy Loot books. I've got July's box, so this is Daughter of the Burning City by Amanda Foody, which I really ought to get around to reading. I just haven't had the chance because this should have gone on holiday with me. It didn't because the box arrived when I'd gone on holiday, so I got back 2 weeks later and I haven't actually got around to reading it yet because I got distracted. And then this is the August book, so sorry if you're waiting for it still. But this is Wicked Like Wildfire by Lana Potvik, which is all about magic and love and danger and all that kind of stuff. And really pretty book. So I've got those to read. So that's now I'm at 10 books. Okay. And then I've got books that have been recommended by my husband that I really ought to read. So this one might be familiar to regular viewers on my channel. The First 15 Lives of Harry August by Claire North. He really liked that, said it was time travel but completely different from what you expect. Then there's Dean Coots, By the Light of the Moon. He finished that a couple of weeks ago and said I'd really enjoy it. Then there's Revenger. This is by Alistair Reynolds. This is like sci-fi in the very far future and kind of like a bit Firefly-ish. So he said I'd really enjoy that. Apparently there's going to be a follow-up to it as well. So that's now 13 books. And then there's books I've got in a series which I need to read. So first up is Moon Locket by Peter Punzel. This is the follow-up to Cogheart, which is up here. And I have read and really loved it. This is a YA historical Victorian steampunk clockwork type of story. which is really, really good. So I need to read the sequel. A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers is the follow-up to The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. Apparently this doesn't directly follow on to that story, but it's like a companion piece that follows a couple of the characters from the previous book. And it's still set in the same universe, so I'll read that. There's Julian May's The Golden Talk. This is book 2 in the Saga of the Exile series. I loved Many Coloured Land. Unfortunately, I seem to have got an awful lot of books when I got this one, and this one got put down the pile and hasn't been picked up yet, so I must read this. In The Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness. This is book 2 in the All Souls trilogy. I finally found a copy of this on the bookshelf in the shops, so I picked it up. Discovery of Witches is there, which is currently being put into production for a TV series. Then I've got this is book 6 of the St Mary's Chronicles. What could possibly go wrong? So obviously I'll finish book 5 and read book 6 and 7 and 8 as well. And then there's The Long and Short of It, which is a short story collection which is set in the world of the St Mary's Chronicles. I've read 4 of the stories out of here now, and I will be reading the rest as they fit into the series as I go along. It's 19 books. That's ridiculous. I can't read 19 books in a month. My other problem is, this month I start my new job. I'm being a midday play worker at my boys' school. That's dinner lady to anybody over the age of 30. So that's going to take up some of my day. I'm also going to start a free online course run by the University of Edinburgh about Bonnie Prince Charlie and the Jacobites, and so that's an hour a day as well. So suddenly my time is getting very short. Obviously the days are getting darker now, so the amount of decent sunlight coming in, and you know, I don't read well by artificial light, it makes my eyes tired. So yeah, I think I'm kind of giving myself a little bit too much this month, but these are the books that I ought to prioritise now and actually say I need to read something off one of these piles, because otherwise I'm going to end up with loads of books that just sit on the shelf for years and years, like Clan of the Cave Bear by G.M. Oriel. That's still sat there 10 years later. I still haven't read it. So yeah, so extremely overambitious TBR. Never mind. What are you planning on reading this month? It can't be as bad as me. Please don't be as bad as me. This is terrible. Please let me know down in the comments below what you are reading this month, what you are planning to read in this month, or just what you're going to read because. I would like to highlight Cherrie Walker's booktube channel this month. I'll leave a link down below in the description box for you. She's had a bit of a rough time at the moment and has just started reposting, so I'd like you to go and check her out because she's one of the more calmer booktubers out there, and she's very thoughtful in her reviews, so please give her a bit of love in the booktube community. Apparently YouTube have changed their algorithm thingies, so if your video's of a certain length but it's too long or too short, they won't bother telling people about it. And if you don't post like every couple of days, they don't tell your subscribers that you're posting, which kind of defeats the object of subscribing as far as I can work out. So if you want to actually know when I've posted something up, rather than having to search for YouTube, you're going to need to click the little bell thingy down below, so you'll get a little bing to say I've posted something. So I'm going to start doing that for a lot of my, particularly the smaller channels that I don't visit very often. You know, it's not because I'm ignoring you, it's because there are so many people out there, and if I spent hours on booktube I'd get nothing done. So yeah, so please be aware that booktube is having a few issues at the moment, and that booktubers themselves are kind of in a bit of a battle with YouTube and trying to get people to see them and the regular viewers to actually say, hi, we're here, we're still alive, we're still doing stuff. So, you know, keep an eye on who you are subscribed to and just regularly go and visit them and watch their videos for them. That would be lovely. As always, my social media links are down below on Goodreads, Twitter and Instagram. If you want to follow me on there, feel free. And thank you very much for watching and happy reading. Bye.